Mako shark in the canal below the streets of Paris. Sophia and Adol are the only ones who can stop it. Sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS in Under Paris, a Netflix original written and directed by Xavier Gens, or Jens, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He did the 2007 Hitman movie. Remember that? They had to remake it because neither was really all that good. That being said, check out his IMDb page for the fullest of his work, and this had an original idea by two people, an adaptation by two others, and was written by two other people. So yeah, quite a few people involved in the writing of this particular movie, which involves Paris hosting the World Triathlon Championships, and people are going to swim and they're going to do a whole bunch of stuff in the Canal of Paris. Unfortunately, a Mako shark named Lilith is deciding that this is going to be my fare, if you'll see what I did there. And Lilith, along with some other sharks, are going to feast. And feast and feast and feast and feast. Okay, and, they have the mayor that's a little bit upset about this and won't stop the games and says everything's going to go on despite all the shark attacks happening. You have a smart scientist, you have a cop, you have somebody who's an expert on sharks and everything. Is any of this sounding familiar? All you need was to resurrect Roy Scheider and basically just bring Steven Spielberg on set to say, you're ripping off my goddamn idea. Look, when it comes to shark movies, it's almost impossible to have something fresh. Because this is certainly better than The Black Demon. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, I've shat things out better than The Black Demon. But if you ever saw a movie called The Last Shark, Riff Trax did a version of that. That was an Italian ripoff of Jaws. To the point that Universal Pictures said, hey, wait a second, you ripped off our idea. And they did. I mean, they did a few different things. Kinda, sorta, not really, a few little tweaks. But they ended up having to pull the movie from theaters, even though it made quite a bit, because it was marketed, despite being a complete ripoff, it was marketed as a Jaws, continuation. And this basically is just an amalgamation of Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, and a few other movies, Human Centipede together, with some shark attacks that really make the ones in Sharknado seem smart and, competent by comparison. Am I making it clear as to how I felt about this movie? This movie is awful. This was not good at all. And I had some hopes for it. I thought it might be dumb fun. The problem is this movie takes itself entirely too seriously. There's some drama as far as, studying sharks and taking care of sharks, and some social commentary on environmental, issues, such as dumping too many plastics in the ocean to the point that sea life is ingesting them and dying, and it's not good, and we do need to take care of the planet and take care of people better, and take care of the animals better, because it's the only planet we fucking have, despite what NASA wants to say. Unfortunately, this movie is just an amalgamation of all those, and has a few shark attacks that don't really register because everybody is monumentally stupid. Which, yes, is the basis of any kind of monster movie. The thing is, the shark isn't scary. None of the characters are smart. You don't feel sympathy for any of the goddamn characters. It also features one of the dumbest goddamn endings. Not even, and I'll talk about it in the spoilers, not even that I have a problem with the tone of a particular ending, but it's just not good. It's not good at all, and it almost implies that we might get a sequel. Okay, that's a bit of a spoiler right there, but God, do not give us Under Paris 2. Now they're taking over the world. Boogaloo, my God, what the hell are you doing? Basically, that's proving that nature can't be stopped, that species will adapt, and they will survive. Yeah, that's it. There isn't a lot to spoil in this, but it's on Netflix if you want to check it out. I will say that Bernice Bejo, daylight coming, we want to go home. One day only at the Bon Marché. She was in The Artist. She does fine. Nassim Lees, he does alright as Adol. Leah Leviant, she does fine as Mika. Not the character from Paranormal Activity, as hilarious as that would have been. And I can just see some pearl clutchers getting upset because Mika is in a relationship with a young lady named Ben. Bit of an odd name choice there, but I don't really know what the hell's going on there. But oh no, pearl clutching, oh no. People loving who they want, how dare they. Other than that, yeah, just a bunch of characters and a bunch of cliches, a bunch of stuff you've seen done tens of thousands of times better in other movies. Is it the worst shark movie ever? No. Is it the laziest shark movie that I've seen in quite a while? Yeah, pretty goddamn lazy. So, getting into spoilers, let's get right to it. So, that's your warning. On Netflix, you want to check it out. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers right here. So, Sophia is out with a team. The team is trying to figure out why a sperm whale seems to have a bite mark taken out of it. Well, they're in the goddamn ocean, so I think you probably can figure that out. Or at least they're in a body of water where sharks would exist. And sharks end up taking out the entire team. Sophia gets drugged down at one point in hilarious fashion. By the way, this was really, really bad CGI. I mean, I'm sure the budget wasn't exactly massive, but holy goddamn shit when the CGI hit. She was drugged down. She had some blood vessels burst in her ear, or possibly her eardrum, and she was having blood in her mouth, and oh my god, all this stuff, but she got free to do what she wants to carry on for 3 years later. And some kids at this aquarium that she works at basically decide to make fun of her. Didn't your whole team die? Kids can be cruel, and my god, this is like Devilfish. Devilfish was another Jaws ripoff, just with a shark tentacle creature. You know, now that I think about it, this movie is actually a lot more annoying than I thought because it could have been better. You would have thought they would have learned in the interim last 40 goddamn years. So, Mika hits this whole thing, SOS, save our seas. They have activated or found a way to figure out, how to target this beacon or track this beacon that was on the fin of this particular shark, Lilith. And you have all this technology. And they're like in this like warehouse or something. I mean, I don't know much about French architecture. It's beyond my comprehension because there's a lot of cool places in France, a lot of beautiful women, and I'm never going to go there because it costs a lot of money. Also, I hate flying. So it turns out that Lilith is a Daphne and wanting to kill, and she's making her way downtown. As I screw this up, and Vanessa Carlton is going to be homebound. So Sophia's still haunted by all this stuff. She looks at the footage that, showed her team getting killed. Maybe you don't have that, you weird bitch. What the hell's wrong with you? She's actually not a bitch. I don't know why I said that. Maybe just because I'm mad at this movie. But, yeah, Lilith the Mako shark. It's basically her targeting for no reason. Oh, yes, and also it turns out that Lilith and others are able to be able to asexually reproduce. So now sharks are just taking over intermittently. Why? Why not? Science! And yeah, the police try to help her. The mayor won't do anything. We need to keep the beaches open. She might as well have said that. I mean, I know there weren't beaches here, but Jesus fucking Christ. There was a nice moment where the police are helping out these homeless people, but they had to clear out for the triathlon games. And then they're eaten off camera. The dog is okay, seemingly. All right. Then Mika puts out a PSA, we need to save the sharks, we need to do this, and we need to save the oceans, and we're going to go into these underground catacombs. This is after Mika had already been caught investigating why, this car was in this canal and why it had teeth marks on it and all that, and why the driver was missing. Clearly, the driver tried to chew his way out by chewing on the outside, which doesn't make sense. Come on, Mika, it makes sense to me. So Ben then warns them of Mika's plans. Oh no, love is being fractured. Damn you, Paris police. And everybody is stupid and bad everything is what I noted here. And yeah, this is really bad because once the triathlon games get going, it gets worse. But before that, everybody's gathered in the catacombs. Mika has this idea. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out a way to push we're going to save the sharks. Well, that ends up with everybody panicking and everybody dying, basically. Did they ever think about dying? Well, if not, they died here anyway. They all got killed because everybody was just shoving and panicking. The camera was getting thrown around like, the person just realized they had a syphilis diagnosis. And they're like, shit, it's going to eat my nuts. I need to get rid of this camera. Does that make sense? No, but it makes sense as much as anything else as far as the actions of the people in this movie. And everybody's panicked. Turns out Adel, or Adele, or Adel, I think is how you say his name. He gives a bit of a backstory as to why he left the army, because he panicked and some hostages got freed, but his battalion got hurt. Okay. By the way, this movie's like an hour and 40 minutes, and it feels like it's at least 30 minutes longer than that. So, The idea is, since the mayor will not shut all this down, by the way, Mika gets eaten in one of the most hilarious things in that catacomb scene, where the shark launches up and just... So, yeah, cops get eaten, cops get whatever. The remaining cops are going to set some explosives. And wait, what's this? More sharks are going to attack in the catacombs. And and they attack in mass in hilarious bad CGI fashion. There's only Sophia and Adele left Adele left, and basically their boat gets launched into the goddamn air 50 feet straight out of the last shark. Maybe if I didn't watch so many goddamn movies in my life, I wouldn't be so pissed off when I see shit like this. But it's basically, the triathlon people get eaten, the water levels rise, the sharks take over Paris, and now they're just using the bodies of water to invade Bangkok, Venice, and stuff like that, while Adele and Sophia are the only ones left. I don't mind a downer ending. It's just that implies that people care about the goddamn characters in the first place. And I'm not sure who would care about these characters because, again, this movie is really bland. It's really generic, and it just carves off hunks and hunks and hunks from the corpses and the bodies of so many other shark movies. It feels so uninspired and so lame. An amalgamation of just, ideas that could have worked if they had any passion behind them. Even the shark attack scenes aren't good. It gets an F. I sadly don't even think this will be in my top 10 worst movies of the year list. Probably not even my top 10 worst horror movies. 126 movies that I've watched this year, and this might not even crack it, and that's how bad this year has been. Yeah, F, sorry. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlund. I'll see you soon.